so strongly that we have to keep up with every fiber of our being the argument for, the campaign for human rights as women's rights, human rights as gay rights, human rights as worker rights, human rights as voting rights, human rights across the board for every single American. Now that is who I am. That is what I've always done. That is why I am in this race.
All right, that was Hillary Clinton earlier tonight. Here with reaction, Fox News contributors David Webb, Eboni Williams, Jedediah Bila. All right, it wasn't as bad, Jedediah, as it was in Iowa. Why does she yell like that?
I don't know.
Why is she going so solidly left?
I don't know why she's yelling. I said, I don't know why she's dressed as a priest. It's very odd. I mean, look, it's desperation. I think she's desperate. I think she's looking at how women voters are not buying her story. I think she's looking at young voters flocking to Bernie Sanders. Remember, last time she faced a battle against Barack Obama, and Barack Obama was a guy who galvanized the youth, who galvanized a lot of groups that she didn't think he was going to get. So she's facing very similar obstacles again, and I think she thought that she was going to roll right in and her husband's name and the Clinton name were going to carry her, and this is looking a lot harder for her now. So I see a lot of desperation, and she's raising her voice, but her stand on the issues is not hitting home, and also the lack of honesty. People view her as dishonest, and that's carrying great weight for Bernie Sanders.
Time. All right, so she loses every demographic, Eboni, and the argument is, and the general consensus is among the punditry class, is that, well, once she gets to South Carolina and southern states, she'll start winning the minority vote. I'm not so sure I believe that.
Well, Sean, I might surprise you here. I am totally with you on that. I think that is so far from an open and shut case that people are going to be surprised. People have a short memory, Sean. There was a time where Hillary Clinton was beating Barack Obama with the black vote as well in the beginning of this early part of the 2008 primary because people weren't familiar with him. And that's what I feel like is going on with Bernie Sanders. People aren't familiar with him. Look, black people want to be successful in this thing. They want someone who's a part of the establishment when they have no other choice. Bernie Sanders, I think, is doing a very good job of getting endorsements from people like Dr. Cornel West, Ben Jealous from the NAACP, and other people in the black community. So he is not taking that vote for granted, and he's getting in South Carolina, he's getting in Flint, Michigan, and he is making the black community aware of who he is.
I was stunned, David Webb, as I listened all night, and it was just general assumption, oh, she's got that vote. And I'm like, well, it didn't happen last time in 2008. Thoughts?
You know what? I'm actually on the opposite side of Eboni on this one.
Shocker,
Ben Jealous, the former head of the NAACP, his endorsement means nothing. Cornel West, it means something to a few. And the fact is the CBC and the Clintons are in bed, and they're going to harness their power around her. And you look at who's not opposing her. Al Sharpton hasn't stepped out against her. He hasn't weighed in. I don't buy the Hillary Clinton is going to lose the black vote, but I'll tell you what they missed there, Sean. Hillary Clinton is so desperate that tonight in her speech, she talked about the vast right-wing conspiracy, and that was what went up against her with the super PACs.
Jedediah, all right, big night for Donald Trump. He shows a lot of great numbers in South Carolina. I would imagine Ted Cruz is going to fight hard in South Carolina. What do you see unfolding there? Do you agree with Geraldo that Trump goes all the way? Who is the biggest obstacle for him, considering he's leading?
I think Ted Cruz is his biggest obstacle, particularly because a lot of conservatives, talk radio guys, our friend Mark Levin, powerful people who people trust on the right are getting behind Ted Cruz pretty strongly. However, no one has been able to stop Donald Trump. He wasn't on the debate stage last time. It didn't matter. You know why it didn't matter, Sean? Because no one else was able to shine. People have had a really hard time stealing the microphone from him. Every time he says something outrageous and pundits come out and say this is going to be it for him, he's done, it seems that people rally behind him more. He seems very much unstoppable. I don't see anyone right now who's going to catch him. And let's face it, he's known for being the non-politically correct guy. So the more outrageous stuff he says, if he makes a crude remark, people embrace that because they see it as real and they don't want typical politicians with talking points. He is the anti-politician right now.
Eboni?
Yes, Sean. Yeah, I don't disagree with the Trump part. I mean, he absolutely has got full steam ahead. I think we are seeing a more measured, kind of a general electable type of candidate from Donald Trump. I do think him skipping the debate earlier did hurt him. I think it allowed Rubio to have a little bit of steam there that he did not capitalize on, and so too bad for him.
Yeah.
I actually think that moving forward, though, it is Trump's to lose. Absolutely. South Carolina, he's going to do really well. He is a very attractive general electorate candidate. Lots of independents and moderates like him. Lots of Democrats even like him, Sean. So I think that he is going to be incredibly tough to beat, generally speaking.
David Webb, what are your thoughts?
I think Trump's giving them fits, but we've got to see who drops out, where that shifts. Trump, does he have a ceiling or not, is the big question. The governors delivered. 2 of them delivered here in New Hampshire. Will they have their path to South Carolina? I'm not writing this story yet because, to the points by both ladies, Trump is the story you can't write. He writes the story. He directs the narrative, and he gets away with what most people never would. But Sean, who's paying attention? America. Trump did the Republicans a favor. He did politics a favor. People are paying attention. You got to give him the credit for that.
Absolutely.
All right, Eboni and David and Jedediah, thank you all for being with us.